Hello, everybody. This is your main man, Keith, here from Keith Plays PS4 927. Happy Tuesday morning to all my awesome viewers on this awesome channel. Today, we are not, in fact, playing a game. We are going over the season statistics, the yearly awards, and stuff. So, this is briefly going to be a short video, and we're going to actually view the playoff bracket to see how we even got to the Super Bowl. So, in the beginning, there's always a beginning, middle, and end to the road to the Super before arriving to the Super Bowl. In the beginning, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers knocked out the San Francisco 49ers 73-3 in the wild card weekend round in Raymond James Stadium. Then came the divisional round, and Tampa Bay knocked out Carolina 58-7 in also Raymond James. And then obviously Philly got that first round bye, so they got two games that they played, and they went to Philly, the Buccaneers, and destroyed the Eagles 64-10. And now is our chance to get our third Lombardi trophy. And we had earned one 21 years ago, 3 years ago, and we're hoping to get our third one in Las Vegas, Nevada. So the Chargers' road to the Super Bowl was pretty simple and easy. So it was not easy for both teams to make it to the Super Bowl, but the Chargers knocked out the Bengals 31-28 in the wild card. Then divisional round, it was 34-10. The Chargers knocked out the Titans, and they had swept out the Browns 27-20 in the AFC Championship game. They were in California at SoFi Stadium at all three of their games. Hard to believe that, but they're both number 2 seeds, so that made, understandable sense though. But this was just a great playoff year along the lines. But yearly awards, let's see where we are ranked. MVP, Baker Mayfield, 15-0-2 was our record, by the way. Tristan Yannick also on that list. Mike Evans for the Buccaneers. So 16-0-1, 15-0-2 was our first year statistic. Coach of the year, Nick Saban, Nick Sirianni, he was 16-0-1. Todd Bowles, he was 15-0-2. For the NFC, that's who we are. Offensive player of the year, Tristan Yannick, Mike Evans, Baker Mayfield. And is there another? And then defensive player of the year, Antoine Whitfield Jr. was one of them. Carlton Davis, Levante David, Byron Jones, Ryan Neal, and Devin White were defense. So we already go to the offense? Yeah. Offensive rookie of the year, Tristan Yannick was at the number 1 spot there. Defensive rookie of the year, I don't think anybody for Tampa Bay was under that category. Baker Mayfield, best QB for the NFC, best halfback. Nobody was there for that. But Tristan Yannick, Mike Evans, and was Chris Godwin involved in that? No. But best D lineman, nope. Linebackers, Levante David, Shaquille Barrett, and Devin White were in that category. Carlton Davis, Antoine Whitfield, Byron Jones, Ryan Neal, and Jamel Dean were all in that category. But coach-wise, for the NFC, that's the annual awards. We got that done and over with, so we got the hard part done and over with. Now is where we get to the stats and awards. So 7,821 offensive yards. We were ranked first. 3,393 defensive yards, 1,275 points scored for Tampa Bay, 156 points allowed, which I think was the least allowed. But weekly awards, Baker Mayfield and Lavonte David week 1. Week 2 was Baker Mayfield and Devin White. Nobody won that for week 3. But week 4, Baker Mayfield and Carlton Davis. That was a massive win over the New Orleans Saints. And then week 6, it was Baker Mayfield and Ryan Neal. Week 7, it was Mayfield and David. Week 8, it was Baker Mayfield and Antoine Whitfield Jr. Then it was Baker Mayfield again. Antoine Whitfield, he had 2 pick sixes in that one game. And then it was Mayfield. So no Tristan Yannick was the offensive player of the week, though, but he was still a tremendous player. Mayfield and Davis, Mayfield and Jones, Jamel Dean, and then it was Baker Mayfield and Jamel Dean, Baker Mayfield and Antoine Whitfield Jr., and then week 17 against the Saints, we won big time with 500 passing yards for that, and then Baker Mayfield, and then Mayfield and White, and then it was Lavonte David for divisional round, and then conference championship. Obviously, we had to have that. So the team stats, we had at least 1,367 rushing yards, and then we were ranked on the highest, 6,454, and then 10,941 was the most offensively, but defensively, we were the team that had the less points allowed in this regular season, and it was 681 points allowed by the Saints, 581, and then Texans. It was mainly the teams that we battled off against had allowed it so many points this regular season because we outscored them by so many points. So 118 passing touchdowns, and we had the less amount of rushing TDs, but we did rack up 175 first downs. So I don't think we're going to go to that. Player stats, it looks like Tristan Yannick piled up 3,000 yards for his rookie year, and he had 57 receiving touchdowns, 44 for Mike Evans. We were just an outscoring team. So I know this just applies to the offensive players, but still, punt return for touchdowns, I think Antoine Whitfield had 2 TDs and 5 kickoff return TDs. So that was very miraculous of them. And 12 sacks for Lavonte David, 12 sacks for Ryan Neal, 12 sacks for Shaq Barrett, 11.5 sacks for Antoine Whitfield, Joe Tyron-Shoyinka. And I think the most interceptions, we'd have to give credit to Carlton Davis. I don't think anybody scored a safety this year, but Carlton Davis had 8 defensive TDs. Lavonte David had 7 defensive touchdowns. Antoine Whitfield, 6 defensive TDs. Shaq Barrett with 5. Jamel Dean with 4. Byron Jones and Devin White with 3. Joe Tyron-Shoyinka, 2. Ryan Neal, Yaya Diaby, Marlon Thibodeau, and Raymond Voyashchak had 1 each. So I think this ends it here in Tampa, Florida. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys in the Super Bowl.